football, beat Liverpool, lose to Warrington, Accrington.
I was going to say, if we played Warrington, we might have won. Yeah, that's just football. You know, we delivered two different performances. One very dominant, the other one less dominant. Got a win against probably the odds, and then lost against the odds. That's sometimes the way it is.
What does that do in terms of the mood? Has it affected?
No, it doesn't change anything. No. We know the main target this year, and you know it's not the cups. I must make it quite clear to anyone who wants to try and spin that. Doesn't mean we're diminishing the thought of a cup, of course not. But the main goal is what we're trying to achieve in the Premier League. Of course, we know that.
So it doesn't affect anything in any way in terms of how you approach.
No, absolutely not. Completely different challenge, radically different challenge. In fact, you know, Chelsea, one of the big clubs in the Premier League, historically, quiet year from last year, but they've started well this year. New manager, big signings, big players in general. So, you know, a completely different situation.
How do you approach it, given the victory over Liverpool, which has been made over 20% possession? You don't go to Chelsea with that intent, do you?
No, of course not. But you know, the power of the Premier League and the real big guns in the Premier League, they can keep the ball. They can hurt you in different ways, and that's the not just the knowledge and the experience they've got, but some of the quality they've got. You know, you don't have to look too far beyond the amount of finance these clubs spend on players, and eventually, if you spend enough money, you're going to get some very high quality footballers. So we know the challenge that's right ahead of us, and you know, we know there's a group that are more kind of what we'd be hoping to get points against, and there's a group that's very difficult to get points against, particularly away from home, and Chelsea come into that. But it is the beauty of football, and that's why we all love it, when you can go away to these places, bit of freedom, take on the game and see what comes your way.
Was there a sense of relief as well to get those points on the board early?
Only really to stop all you lot making a story out of it like it was 2 years ago. That's it, really. It wasn't, you know, we believe in what we do here. We believe we can win football matches, and we believe we can affect games in different ways. We know we'll have to do that over a Premier League season. It's not impossible, but improbable. We're going to be dominating the ball every week. It's improbable that we're going to be going away and smashing teams, home or away for that matter. But it's more possible that we can do things that can affect teams and win games. So that's what we look at. You know, we concentrate on what we can do to achieve different things against different oppositions. But it's fair to say there are tougher opponents, particularly away from home, and I do class Chelsea as one of them for sure.
Do you feel you're better equipped then this time around than you were?
I think we're differently equipped. I think we still need players in. We're working hard on that. I think we're differently equipped. I think it's a different group. We had to change the group from losing players sort of at the beginning of last season, which we did, and the team's morphed slightly differently, and that's the ongoing job of the manager and the staff and the players somewhat, to be open-minded and flexible, to keep changing the way the team operates. And sometimes it's subtle changes that everyone else knows of or notices. So we keep doing that, and we keep trying to get a team of, you know, what everyone will deem the impossible challenge for a club like us. We want to make it possible. We said that 2 years ago, we didn't quite get there. We want to do that again this year. It's quite obvious we're not leading the market with finance, and obvious we're not leading the market with the depth of squad. But what will become apparent, and it already has, is we are willing for the challenge, and we'll give every inch of ourselves in order to achieve what we want.
You're still looking to add to the squad. I mean, the window's still open, obviously. You've made maybe a bid, is it for Dale Stevens at Brighton? Are you going to go back?
There's numerous players that we've been looking at. There's numerous situations we've been trying to open up. It's just very difficult, you know, and it's not just us. I made that clear several times. It's not just us. You know, I've spoken to managers at bigger clubs than us, and they're having their own difficulties because the market's going north, and even they have their limits. Some of the superpowers, they still have their limits. I think they're a bit bigger than ours, though.
Are there any areas that you are particularly looking at, though?
All areas. We want to bring in. You know, the thing is, I've said it many times before, we've never been in a position, I've never been in a position to cherry pick players where you just literally go, that's the player we want, end of story, we go and get them. So therefore we have to be open-minded, and we have to be open-minded with our own group. If we have to flex that and shift the market, then that's what we'll have to do. You know, we have to use finance, we have to generate, we have to bring openings in our squad to allow others to come in. All of them things have to be managed, and it's just more difficult when you haven't got, you know, finance that's deep and readily available all the time. You know, we have to be careful on that side of things. Even now, we've been in the Premier League again, it's just the way the club's structured.
So we need to be on our toes on Wednesday, do we?
I'm sure you bet how many vans you got going around the football this year.
I'm sure somebody will be posted here.
I thought there'd be someone around somewhere, yeah. Long lens and all that.
Indeed. Just on the Andre Gray situation, were you disappointed, or was it fair that the FA charged him?
It's up to them. You know, Andre said his piece, made it clear what his feelings were on it. It's up to the FA now, and that's as simple as that.
Have you had a word with him? Have you had?
I didn't need to. He rang me on Saturday night, made it clear what had happened, because I'm not on Twitter. I was made aware of it. He rang me, he said, "This is an old thing. That's not me anymore. I'm going to put a statement out." I said, "Absolutely," and I thought he made it very clear in his statement.
So you haven't had to remind him of his responsibilities. Very much aware
he's a man who's learning, and he's made it quite clear on that, and he is learning and he is improving both on and off the pitch.
What about teammates? Have they had to rally round it?
No, not at all. I thought he came on last night, looked absolutely clear-minded, delivered a very good performance, because he's made his peace with that moment, I think, and moved forward. That's what you have to do.
Well, as you say, he is a changed man, is he?
Well, certainly in my experience, I can't govern every inch of everyone's life at our football club, but in my experience professionally and when he's around us, he's been, very, very positive about everything that we've done, everything he can do in the community, etc., etc., and what you'd think is right of a professional footballer. But like we say, it's a 4-year-old situation, and we certainly can't govern what became before us, and we can't really govern every inch of their lives either.
What about an appeal?
Well, like I said, that'll be for the powers that be to concern themselves with.
Just back on the pitch, it seems to happen at the start of every season. We get new laws of the game, or laws of the game changed, and a concentration on stamping down in certain areas, grappling inside the penalty areas again being highlighted. Are you looking for some consistency throughout the season? Yeah,
we had a couple in the first game of the season against Swansea, which would have been given when you look at the ones at Stoke. I personally thought the ones at Stoke were the right decisions. You've got to be looking at the ball to attack it and head it and defend, in my opinion. And the idea of cupping players before the ball's even got in, whether they're in connection with the ball, because originally they were saying, well, the ball's miles away. It's not the point. The players move so fast nowadays, they can cover 6 yards very quickly. So if you're cupping a player to stop him doing that, then it's a penalty in my view. So I thought the decisions at Stoke were correct.
So are you having to coach your defensive players?
We haven't had to because our players don't do it. So we haven't had to look at it. We just mentioned it. This is a directive. It's changed slightly. We didn't get the decision against Swansea, which would have been given at Stoke, because I've seen the footage of our game against Swansea. Despite a warning from the referee to their players, it continued through the game. That's the way it goes. You are looking for just parity then, but I think the right decisions at Stoke, in my opinion anyway, they were the right decisions by the referee.
And were these reiterated to you and the team and the players before the season?
I told the players, we found out before the season that it was being looked at slightly differently, so I made sure my players were aware, but as it happens, we don't tend to do that anyway. We try and just be marking properly, to go and head the ball, and the main objective is to attack the ball, block the ball, clear the ball, etc., etc.
So the message remains the same: defend in the manner that you've become accustomed.
Well, just defend properly. As simple as that. If the ball's coming in your box, make sure you're the one who goes, heads it, clears it, blocks it, catches it. If you're a keeper.
And do you think it will be consistent throughout the season?
We'll see. That's something that we definitely can't manage as the referees. That's up to them. But it's something that I think is appropriate, because the idea of marking without even, sometimes, not always, but players don't even look at the ball. I find that bizarre. I don't know how you can do that, unless you get turned around, of course, and you're still just marking a man. But they actually set up, not even looking at the ball. I think that's bizarre.
So before the game on Saturday, will the referee come and speak to you and the players, or will you?
No. You just have a normal meeting with the referees. All the players and all the coaches have been made aware.
Okay. Well, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Okay, comes